Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, Fisher Freshwater here, and today we're going to be talking about Roehr Park at Lake Oswego, or more locally known by people living around Lake Oswego area as the Barrows. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. So Roehr Park is a park in Lake Oswego. It's practically just a platform. There's a little dock in the front, and on the two sides there are these two like barrel-like buildings. Fishing spots, locations, everything, and for that part of Willamette, it drops off quite deep. I'd say somewhere around like 10 feet. It just drops down to 10 feet where you're standing on the platform or on the dock. And that it's also the deeper stretch of Willamette. I have a contour map pulled up right now. You guys should be able to see. I can't think of from the top of my head. But this is a deeper stretch of Willamette. With the deepest part somewhere around south of George Rogers, a little bit upstream. But anyways, in terms of location, there's only three parts I would be looking at when I'm looking at this spot, Roehr Park, and that's the left, the right, and the center. So the center, I typically wouldn't go fish unless I'm trying for something that's like swimming out in the middle. Anything that could be like sturgeon. During sturgeon season, I've seen people have good luck with them. One of my friends actually caught, I believe, a coho out there during one of the runs. It's rare, but it's happened before. We could technically catch them and still head out there. Wouldn't be the best spot, but you know, it will work. Then we have, I have friends who caught shad out there. All these like, you know, sea run fish. They're probably going to be out in the middle. You want to use bigger gear for them, bigger rods, you know, bigger weights. Like if you just want to catch, let's say, a smallmouth bass, you wouldn't be using like a heavy rod and reel and 30-pound, you know, line and stuff like that. So for bigger fish species, I definitely go out in the center. But for smaller fish species, there wouldn't be any point in doing it because you could just catch them off the sides where there's way less current. You could use a lot more finesse, a lot more lighter approach. And the reason for that is simple, and because this Roehr Park platform is in the middle, and on each side there's a barrel, so it kind of helps take out current a little bit. So if you fish it, you'll know, like it's practically just slack water there. Like there's not a lot of current moving around. 3/8 ounce works fine. I wouldn't go lighter than 3/8. Sometimes I use up to 2 ounce just to get my bait down there faster. 1 ounce, 2 ounce. 2 ounces is a little bit much, but typically I use 1 ounce to get the weight down there faster. Because it's so deep, typically I fish it with some sort of drop shot rig. I also use a sabiki rig. Now, in terms of fish species there, on the sides, even slack water areas, it's really all over the place. There's bullheads, sculpins, and the I think it's called starry flounders. It's some sort of freshwater flounder people catch out there. That's the bottom feeders. I'm pretty sure there should be channel cats, but I've never seen anyone catch one there, nor have I caught any channel cats there. But I think channel catfish should be there theoretically in that body of water. I know that smallmouth, definitely there. Caught smallmouth. Lots of people catch smallmouth. Most of them are maybe like, I don't know, 8-inch-ish. There's good sized ones that I've seen people catch. I think the biggest I've seen there is like maybe 1.5 pounds and 2 pounds. Hard to tell, but you know, smallmouth definitely there. I've caught crappie, I've caught perch. You could probably find some bluegills, some fish there. They're just everywhere, you know. And the thing is with that location when you're fishing for them, I've tried, you know, lures, I've tried bait, and I have to say, you know, bait does seem like a better option. If you use a night crawler down there, in 10 minutes you're definitely gonna get hit. Sometimes on bad day you might get skunked, but typically I went over there. At one point I went there for like 3 times a week, and every single time I caught something. First day it was a couple of sculpins and a smallmouth. Next day I think with my friend it was perch and a crappie, and then I forgot what I caught on the third day. But you know, my point taken is that there's always going to be fish out there, almost always, and they seem to all bite night crawlers or some form of worm. I fished there with, tried with grubs, drop shot rigs, with worms. And I've also tried with sabiki rigs, just little plastic looking like kind of streamers. If you fly fish, it kind of look like little streamers. And really not a lot of hits. Yeah, so if you go, I would personally be more inclined towards bait. Or if you're, very into lure fishing, you could still do that. But I would still suggest you just get a couple of hooks, size, anything really. Some fish are big, some fish are small. I'd say go up to 2/0 and go down to maybe even size 10 if you really want to. Just depends on the size of fish you want to catch. Right there, all in there. So get a couple of hooks, get a drop shot rig, drop shot weight, get a can of worms. That's probably the safest option I'd go. I'm not saying you can't catch anything on lures. I think that smallie was caught on spinner, if I remember correctly. I mean, they definitely buy lures out there, but bait just seems to be what I find to be a more safe option. So as for season or time of the day, so to speak, fishing at Roehr, it really varies. So in the season, typically in the winter season, just generally, I don't see a lot of action from warm water fish. So you probably wouldn't be getting as much smallies or, bullheads, all these panfish. But you would in the winter. That's typically when the salmon steelhead runs. There's sturgeons out there. I think it's an open season during the winter and parts of the spring. It would be very good to go out at that time for those type of fish. In the summer, late spring, summer, definitely go. And maybe I'll fish. I think right now with Oregon climate, I'd say you could fish it all the way until October, mid-October, maybe even late October, depending on the just general weather. You can fish all of that for the warm water species, bullheads, catfish, bass and panfish and all of that. So, and for the time of day, because it's relatively deep there and there's a lot of shade on the side, warm water fish, really, I don't think they seem to mind. Like, I fish there during the hottest time of day and I still managed to catch something out of there. Of course, if you want to stick to early morning and late in the evening, sure, feel free to. But even if there's middle of the day, there's something there. And if you want to catch bullheads, especially, go at nighttime. Just general catfishing, you typically go at night. That's when you would, typically catch a catfish. And in terms of gear, as I've went through, drop shot rig works. It's my favorite rig at a spot, but if you really want to, Carolina rig, I've also caught stuff on that. It's just harder with how it is, with how the current is. I mean, even in the slack water, there's still a little bit current. So Carolina rig seems to mess with my line a little bit, and it's hard for me to tell bites. Drop shot rig, I fish it finessely, and I also fish it still. Oh, here's some last mental notes about this location. First of all, it's the snags. It's not a very snaggy spot, but there are a good amount of snags, like 10 to 20 feet just off, the platform. So just watch out for those. I think there were some old cables or something. I'd pull up one of them every once in a while. But a tip I found is that if you just let your line sit there for 15 minutes, typically the residual current seems to, somehow resolve a snag. Now, I don't know how it works, but it works. I've done it a lot of times. The other thing is that there are a lot of people, jumping off of barrels over there. So, and there's a lot of people swimming too, and pet swimming, whatever. But, just as a fisherman, you got hooks, you got to watch out for people, just in case you hook someone, that wouldn't be good. And then finally, I think this spot isn't really, the Roehr Park, it's not really a phenomenal fishing spot. What I like about it is, though, it's very accessible. It's more accessible than most of the other spots around the area, especially, the good spots typically require some hiking into, or is, as you know, with the lake, it's private. So it's a decent for a public spot. I like it because sometimes I go after school or some people after work, they just, you could just grab a rod. It's very well-paced path. It's like a 2 to 4 minute walk. On a platform, you could lay down a chair if you wanted. Not much bugs or anything. It's a very chill spot. I typically go after school, kill some time if I want. So it's a good spot for, just relaxing and not really competitively fishing at all. That's it for today. If you enjoy watching videos like this where I break down fishing spots, feel free to give me subscribe, as well as like and share the video with all your fishing friends and family members. That's it for today. Fish or Freshwater out.